Good evening, all of my students. I hope all of you are doing well and good. Today we are meeting again in our another session of class 12, and today we are going to learn about functions in Python. Okay, this is based on CBSE curriculum, whatever you are having in your CBSE syllabus in standard 12. So we have already learned about Python revision tool 1 and 2, or already we have completed the dictionary in our previous session. Okay, now from this chapter we are going to start the fresh new topics of Python in class 12. Okay, so before starting the function, just I want to mention something, or just want to recap something. That is, we are learning Python here, and already we have learned Python list, Python dictionaries, tuples, strings, as well as data types, and also you have learned about some inbuilt functions of Python in class 11 also, as well as in class 12. Okay, some modules you have used. Okay, you have already used some inbuilt functions of list and string. Already we have seen those, right? So in our previous sessions already I have mentioned about some list functions, string function like len function, append function, dictionary function like keys, values, and all these kind of things, right? So why I am discussing all these things in this class, why it is important? Actually, we are going to learn here user defined functions. Okay, so we will learn user defined functions actually, that is in Python. Okay, one another kind of function is there that is called built in function in Python. Now, already you know about this thing. That's why I am just recapping you this thing so that you will have in your mind, you can reload in your mind those things you have already learned. So, in built-in functions, first I can take the name of len function. Okay, next I can take the name of input function. Okay, you have used this input function to take input. Okay, another is range function, right? In range you have written like 1 comma 6, so it will be 1 2 3 4 and 5. The 6 will not be taken, so this is the starting value, this is the end value. Okay, so this range function you have used with the for loop for I in range. Do you remember this? I hope you remember this. For I in range 5, if I write 5, that means the range function will work from 0 to 5. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will take all these numbers in the range 5. That means 0 to 4, means 0 to 5 range. In between 0 to 5, you are taking all the numbers, but not including the last number, that is 5. Okay, so this will work like this, isn't it? So this all functions you have already learned in your previous sessions, or I can say in your previous class 11 also, may you have learned all this, right? Now we will going to see that how to define your own function, but before that we will see some inbuilt ones. What are the type of the functions, some inbuilt functions, name of some inbuilt functions, and why we use the function actually, right? So we are going to see that. So let's start our session with a fresh new chapter, functions in Python. Okay, so let's take another color. Okay, functions in Python, right? Now say, what is function actually, or why we are going to use this function? What is the benefit of using a function? Or why we going to use a function? What is the need of function? Right? So see, function is a collection of statement which is made to perform a specific task. Suppose you are going to, okay, just a minute. Something is there in my specs. Okay. So, function is a collection of statement which is made to perform a specific task. That means function is some collection of some specific statement which is doing a specific job in your code, right? So, suppose you are trying to do a multiplication within three numbers, or you are trying to do a addition within five numbers. Okay, so you are writing a function which is perform your particular task that you want. Okay, suppose you want to check whether, suppose A and B two numbers are there. You want to check whether A is greater than B or B is greater than A or not. So I want to check that two numbers, which one is greater. Two numbers I will take as an input and which one is greater. So performing this task, I have to write a if-else statement and I can write it in a user-defined function. Now, why to write a user-defined function? You can write it in a normal code, isn't it? We just write a if-else statement and it will be done. So, why we are going to use the function? The main purpose of using a function is to reuse the thing again and again. Now, what is meaning of reuse? Okay, instead of writing the same code again and again, I can use the code whenever I need. Suppose in a big program, see, in this point it is telling you that instead of writing a large program, we can write small functions as a specific part of the program to accomplish the task. Okay, so suppose now you are writing a big program, and in that big program, in that program, 3 to 4 times you have to check if two numbers is which is greater than another one. Like 4 times similar task you are doing, but for several reasons. May you are doing it for several reasons, but the task is same, right? Getting my point? So if you are writing a simple code without using a function, without using a method, that is user defined function, we can call it a method also. So without using a method, if you are doing it, it is very difficult to do every time. Whenever we are doing the same thing again and again, we are writing the same code, right? So checking, suppose first time two numbers you have taken A and B. In the next time you have taken X and Y. So for A and B also you are doing the same job. For X and Y, another two numbers, you are doing the same job. Okay, same kind of job. But if I will write a function and I can call the function again and again whenever I need it, so I can reuse this code. So this is called reusability of a function. Okay, so reusability of a function is very important feature of a function, and that is why we always try to write a function or write several functions for a big code or for a large program. Okay, so now just to note, all of you note down the points, that is, to execute function we have to call it in the program. Okay, so we have to call the function in the program so that it will execute it. Okay, we can execute it, right? Next is, instead of writing a large program, we can write the program or write the code into smaller parts. We can divide it in the functions. Okay, as a, like, we are not writing the full thing in a same paragraph. We are dividing it in some paras. Okay, and for each and every para, like we are giving a particular heading of it, or you can say a subheading, and that subheading is actually your function. Okay, so whenever you need a same function in another uh, like portion of your program, another part of your program, you can call the function. Okay, so one part is defining a function. Always remember, for user defined function, this is the definition. This part may be the definition of the function, and here after the definition we can call the function. Okay, like this. So I will show you both of the ways that what is the syntax of defining a function and calling a function. So this is the one part. After defining, we have to call the function to execute it. To execute it, right? So this is the main concept of function, I can say. Okay. Now see, once written, a function can also be used in another programs as library function. Like if I want to use it as a library function in my Python, so I can include it in some module. I can make the means using several functions, more than one function, I can make a module and I can use it. Even if I can make a package of my own. Okay, that can be possible. Okay. Now, functions can be categorized into three types. One is built-in, another one is modules, and user-defined function. See, built-in and modules are both of these are already defined in Python. Okay, both of them are already present inside your Python language. We can use it by calling their names or by importing them. For built-in functions, we don't need to import any module or we don't need any external code, right? But for modules, we need a keyword called import. Okay, so import is a keyword which will import some external code, some additional code into your program, which will actually attach some additional code to your program so that you can use all the functions present in that module. Okay, suppose I am writing import random. Random is a module that is present in Python. Okay, we will see that also. We will see those. Just for now, I am giving you the example. So, if I am giving this import random, that means whenever I am writing this line, whenever I am writing this line in my code, that means this random module, wherever it is in Python, that is connected to my current code that I am writing over here, right? So this is the thing. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. Now let's move on to the next part, that is built-in function. Okay, first we will see what is built-in function and we will see what are the built-in function already we have used. Okay, one name I have already told you, that is input. Okay, another built-in functions are there. If you know any built-in function or if you remember any built-in function, just comment me below. I want to see what is your uh, previous knowledge or what you could remember, right? Any built-in function you remember, just comment me below right now. Okay. Okay, so see, built-in functions. See, these are the functions which are predefined in Python. We have to just call them to use. Okay, so see, this word is very important, that is predefined. Okay, these functions are predefined in Python and we have to just call them to use. Now, functions make any programming language efficient and provide a structure to language. Okay. Now, functions make any programming language efficient and provide a structure to language. That means Any programming language, whenever we are using a function, the programming will be efficient. Whatever code you are writing, the code will be efficient. Getting efficient means it is running, the runtime will be more, complexity will be less, means time and space complexity will be less for some extent. Okay, and the visibility of the code will be good. The modularity of the code will be increased. What is the modularity of the code? When you are writing a code, any other programmer is studying your code, easily they could understand each and every portion of your code. That is the modularity, or that is the visibility of the code. Okay, so that will increase if you write a function, or if you write several functions for your code. Okay, next is Python has many built-in functions which make programming easy. Okay, Python is having many built-in functions which will make programming easy, fast, efficient. Same point, just it is in another form. It has told it makes the program easy, fast, efficient. Okay, next is they always reside in standard library. So this is very important. Python standard library, whenever you are using something, we need not to import any module. We need not to import any module. Students always confuse in this, means in this portion, that uh, if inbuilt function we are using, then why we need to import something. See, import means you are using some functions which is present in some module, and that module is comes with Python. Okay, like this is Python. You can understand like this. This is Python whole thing, and some extra files are there. These are the extra things present along with Python software, and these are not standard, these are attached to Python. Okay, so this is standard Python modules. Say this is inside Python and we don't need to import it, but this is extra files and folders that is attached to Python. So if I want to use this in my program, for this one I have to write import. Whatever be the file name, I have to write the module name or the file name. Module name. This is module name. Okay, I hope my handwriting is okay and you can understood it. Okay, so this is how we can use that. We will study all about this built-in in the next slide or in the next page. Okay, now see, this is the built-in function. See, built-in function, our first is type. We have already done this type conversion while we are doing the type conversion in the very first chapter. That data types, all this integer, str, float, these are all type functions, or functions which convert the value from one type to another type, right? So these are the functions which convert the values from one type to another type. Okay, now input function. What is input function? Always you know that input function always take input as a string. If I want this as an integer, just what I have to do? Int input. If I want to take a number as a input, then enter a number, whatever statement you will give, and bracket close. Like this I have to write. Okay, x equals to int input. This is our input statement, isn't it? So this way we can take input. And what is this input function? This function is used to take input. This is also a inbuilt function of Python. Now eval function. What is this eval function does? This function is used to evaluate the value of a string. value of a string. Remember this. And we can take input within this eval function in a sequential manner. Like if I want to take input with the eval function, I can write input eval input, then enter the string, then I can not enter the string, enter the tuple or enter the list, like that. So in one line only I can take input with this eval function. We can use it like that for taking input also, but actually what is the work of this eval function? This will evaluate the value of a string. You may not know this, so if you don't know this, just write it down. This eval function is very important in your class 12 also, or in your class 11 also. May you have read it. Okay, may you have know this. Okay. Now some more functions. See, ABS function is the absolute value finding function that will be give you the absolute value of any integer. Max function and min function will give you the maximum and minimum from a list or from a sequence of a number. Okay, we have seen that in tuple, in case of tuple, we have done this max and min function. These are the inbuilt function. Next is type function. Okay, type. What is type function? Type function will give you the type of the data. Okay, length function will give you the length of the string or length of the list, like this. Round function will give you the round of all these examples are given. Okay, I am quickly covering up all this. Now let's see, this is the range function. Okay, may you have seen this already, you have used this start, stop and step. This is the range functions syntax, and this is a for. Okay, this is the example of for loop. You can see 1 comma 10, that is the range function, right? So all this is about the inbuilt function. Now Python module. Okay, Python module is a what can I say? Module is a py file, or Python module is not a small topic actually. It is very elaborately I have to do it, or in the next chapter where you are having modules and packages, in that chapter I will introduce you with what is module and what kind of modules we can use. So module is nothing but a simple Python file. Okay, with the definition, it contains definition of some functions and variables. Now for this time, you just remember this, that Python module is nothing but a Python file only, which will contain some specific functions and variable, and by the name of the module we can import the module to use that in our program, like math module or random module. All these modules are attached with Python, we can use it. Okay, now we will jump into the user defined function. These modules we will discuss later in our next chapter. We are having these modules actually. Elaborately, I will discuss what are the modules you are having in your syllabus. We will discuss over that, and we will discuss the question answers along with the practicals and theory portions. Okay. Now let's see what is the user defined functions. These are the functions which are made by users as per the requirement of the user. Okay, so these are the functions which is made by the user as per the requirement of the user. Function is a kind of collection of statement which is written for a specific task. In the very beginning, we have discussed about this. What is function? Function is nothing but kind of a collection of statement which are written for a specific task. Now, how to define this? DEF keyword, this DEF keyword is responsible to defining a function. So we can use them any part of our program by calling them, and DEF keyword is used to make user defined function. Now how to define this user defined function, how to use this? Let's see this syntax and try to understand this one with an example. Function name you have to give here the function name after this def keyword. This is the keyword, and after this, inside a bracket, you will write the list of parameters. It can be empty or it can be any number of parameters you can give. Okay. Now you will write the body of the function. This is the body of the function. Okay. And always remember, this colon is the punctuation mark over here. You should write, you should give an indentation. This gap is the indentation actually, and then you will write the body of the function. Right. So in this session, we have learned how to define a function, or I must not say how to define a function. We have just seen the syntax of the function, a user defined function, or what is the keyword that will define it? That is def keyword. We have all learned about built-in function, user defined function, as well as the modules, right? So this is only the theory portion I have covered. In the next session coming up, that is totally practical, and I will explain you what is the function, how to define the function, void and non-void. Okay. So stay tuned and coming up with the next session. Okay.